All right, I believe we're live. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Tell me if y'all can see me or not. I'm not getting a preview on my video. If y'all can see me, if y'all can see any video. Alright, I guess we'll kick it off. Before I left town, don't you let nobody tear your barrel house down. Drinking girl, drink on. Drink on. Drinking girl, drink on. Just keep on drinking till you lose your happy home. Well, you drink all the time, mama. You don't ever drink with me. Well, you drink all the time, mama. Well, you don't ever drink with me. When you do your drinking, drink it with your old used to be. You spends all your money, baby. 7 and Crown. You spend all your money. Seagram, 7 and Crown. If you get sober, mama, you gon' find your deal gone down. Why you don't tell me so? But when I go to drinking, I don't want you no more. So drink on, baby, drink to go ahead. Just keep on drinking till you lose your closest friend. What's up? The one I just learned today. That's why I played it badly. But anyway, got a few super chats here. Let's see. Keith Peterson sends $5. He says hello from Pompano Beach, Florida. What's up, man? How you doing? Appreciate that very much. Super chats are the life of the show. And Patrick Jablonski sends me $10. Thank you very, very much for that. Much appreciated. Keith says, sound quality is amazing. Speakers are full blast. He sends another $5. Thank you. Thank you very much. Y'all feel like showing me some love? Like, go down to that $ below the fucking chat there and send me some super chat love. I would appreciate that a lot. Let's see who's in the house tonight. Let's see. Oh, Swimmy Rose sends me $20. Thank you very, very much. Good friend of mine there. Really do appreciate those super chats. That's basically how I make money on these. Like, I don't put ads on these. I just kind of sit here and play for tips, you know, like busking back in the old days. Thank you very much for that $20 there. Who's in the house? Julian Santaguita says, how about some blind Willie McTell? I could do that, all right. Ron says, thanks for your generous donations. Yeah, thank all of y'all. James Laura says, why is the sound so much better today? I have no idea. Let's see. Cat Daddy says, you call that a dobro or a resonator? I don't know. It depends on what day it is. I call it both. I used to call them dobrowers when I was growing up because that was what bluegrass people called them, you know. Ron says that was cool. They had like the new song. That was by Black Ace. He was an old Texas bluesman. Got a couple of new ones tonight. He says, how are you, brother? I'm doing pretty damn good. How are you doing? James Laura says, like the new song too. Keith sends me $5. Says, I heard Edward Phillips jams Primus 7. Yeah, just what I'm known for. Fucking 90s fucking alt metal. Let me see if I can do it. And he sends $5. Thank you for that, Keith. Appreciate that a whole lot. All right. All right, let's see. Then we'll do some Willie McTell. Swimmy Rose says, absolutely. Appreciate that super chat. Carlos Casanova says, if you could shake your money maker. All right, I can do that. Stay tuned. have requests for? We got, let's see, we had Statesboro Blues and Shake Your Moneymaker. Yeah, yeah. He says another $5. Thank you very, very much for that. He says, let the colors red, right. Let's get the colors right. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Yeah. Bad with lyrics. Let me see here. Well, this thing needs some tune-in. Close enough for rock and roll. From Blind Willie McTell. He lived in Thompson, Georgia, about 50 miles from here. Wake up, mama, turn your lamp down low. Wake up, mama, turn your lamp down low. Well, have you got the nerve to drive Papa McTell from your door? Mother died and left me reckless. My daddy died and left me wild, wild, wild. Mother died and left me reckless. My daddy died and left me wild, wild, wild. Well, I ain't good looking, but I'm sure some sweet girls ain't no child. The mighty mean woman to do me this way. Woman, do me this way. I leave here, I'm going back to stay. Digging in Savannah, you know it didn't stop. You should have seen that fireman when he got the border hard. Well, reach over in the corner, bring me my traveling shoes. Well, you know by that I got them Statesboro blues. Gonna tell your auntie, tell your sister, sister tell your uncle, now uncle tell your friends. Well, I'm going up the country, baby, don't you wanna go? Might take a pair brown, I might take one. Mama got 'em, auntie got 'em, brother got 'em, sister got 'em, I got 'em. Well, reach over in the corner, bring me my traveling shoes. Well, you know by that I got them Statesboro. Little Blind Willie there. All right. Keith Peterson says another $5. Thank you very much for that. Super chats are indeed the life of the show. All right, let's do Shake Your Moneymaker. Got to retune for that. The song that Elmore James did, kind of a pre-rock and roll type of song. Like proto-rock, I guess. shake your money maker. I got a girl, she just won't be true. I got a girl, she just won't be true. Want her to love me, don't believe she do. Gotta shake your money maker. Shake your money maker. Shake your money maker. Shake your money maker. Gotta shake your money maker. 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 Gotta shake your money maker. I got a gal, she lives up on the hill. I got a gal, she lives up on the hill. Said that she loves me, don't believe she will. Shake your money maker. Shake your money maker. Shake your money maker. Roll your activator. You gotta shake your money Shake your money maker. Shake your money maker. Shake your money maker. Roll your activator. You gotta shake your money maker. Keith Peterson says, "Don't mind me, I'm making coffee." Let me turn on some music here. See, James Laura says, "I like slide blues." Swimmy Rose says, "Oh, so familiar. Shake your money maker." Awesome. Yeah, you've heard that one before. You probably heard us play that one. See, Cosmic Sunbeam says, "Bong hit." And Jody says, "Bowl hit." Smoke 'em if you got 'em, I guess. Let's see, she says, "Good song. Appreciate that." Carlos Casanova says, "Thanks, Ed. Pure blues dynamite." Well, thank you very much, sir. James Laura says, "Irish." Do I have any Irish? What we got here? I got about a shot of Irish left. Look, we'll do one. Yeah. Let's shoot it out with Scotch and Irish. All right. Let's see. I got some Bushmills Irish whiskey. I got some Dewar's White Label Scotch. So y'all tell me Scotch or Irish. One of these two right here. James says Bushmills. Put them votes in the chat. Them votes in. Come on, y'all. It's fucking democracy, man. Swimmy says Irish was last in hand. All right, she votes Irish. Julia says, "Hope your 12-string guitar is tuned up." Well, it kind of is. They're never really completely tuned. James says, "Are you going to ever get some more Big Peony?" You mean a Balvenie? It might buy some. Yeah, that's some good scotch there. Let's see. Erfan Kaksari says, "Love from Iran. Southern blues is the universal language." Well, hello from South Carolina. Glad to have you. Okay, we got 2 votes. Both are for Irish. Any more votes? Jody says Irish. Think Irish might win this one. Okay, I guess we'll do some Irish. Irish whiskey for the motherfucking win. Put it in the patented Ed Phillips shot glass right here. Available below in the Etsy shop. Whoop, 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 whoop. A pretty good amount that was left in the bottle there. Okay. Yeah, about a shot left. Okay, that's all the Irish. Cynical Vagabond says cheers. Appreciate it very much. Here we go. Kim Pie, L'chaim, cheers. Nozdrovia, skull, slaintya, all that good stuff. Right down the hatch. Pretty good stuff at Bushmills. It's, it's kind of cheap, but I mean, I kind of like Jameson's better as far as Irish whiskey, It might get fucking kind of noisy in here about 10 days from now. See, behind me is a brooder. I'm going to have chickens in there, baby ones. So you might have to listen to that for a few weeks. Freddie King right there. That's supposedly like a song that people in Chicago used to open their sets with and stuff, and he made a record of it, and it was a hit for him. See, Mari sends me $9.99, says, sounding good, buddy. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that a whole lot, sir. And then Keith Peterson sends me $10. He says, high quality, heavy cotton, amazing products. Edward Phillips, R.A. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for your generosity there, Keith. I appreciate all them super chats. Jeffrey says, I was reading about the Atlanta Civil War campaign earlier. Found a Union general named Old Slow Trot. Hilarious. Yeah, they did give nicknames to them generals. Like they used to call Lee Granny Lee like the first year of the war. So like you know, they thought he was like timid and stuff. It turned out not to be very true. Of course, my great grandpa in the Civil War, he was called Turn Around, Run, and Get Shot in the Ass Phillips. Keith Peterson says, am I proud? I'm a proud Blue Wrench member. Now, I do have a Civil War ancestor who actually did get wounded in the ass. So, I mean, Matt Evans says, didn't know that trivia about Hideaway, so it was like a set warm-up sort of song. Yeah, it's kind of like a show opener. Yeah. Damn it. Guitar won't stay standing up. Brian B says, wonder if Ted Nugent created Hey Baby from the last tune. Well, I mean, it kind of does have that line in it, like one part of the song or one part of Hideaway does have that. Yeah, shit, might have. I like his version of Please Don't Go. James Laura says, back then surgery was awful, so he probably had to live with two buttholes. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, he went to collect pension. They actually gave pension to ex-Confederates and stuff, and he put on his application like wounded bowel. Yeah, and he apparently got shot in the hand too. He lived in Thompson, Georgia, and he is buried under the lake now. Like they created a lake out there called Lake Thurman. He's under the lake, probably. Matt Evans says that part of Hideaway is from the Peter Gunn theme, I think. Yeah, there's also the Peter Gunn themes in there too. Yeah, the bum 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 bum. Right. Swimmy Rose says, so one other of my faves is Lonnie Johnson, but with Another Night to Cry. Really like your sound. I would appreciate that very much. Yeah, the Lonnie Johnson, the guy who basically invented the fucking guitar solo. I'm actually going to include him in a video I'm going to be putting out pretty soon. It's just like extremely influential guitar players. He was influential on jazz and blues. He influenced like Django Reinhardt, people like that too. Don't really know any of his stuff lyrically. Need to learn one. Yeah, Lonnie Johnson, probably one of the most important guitar players of the 20th century. He literally invented the fucking guitar solo. It had some hits too. He had some like pop hits and stuff like that. You know, back in the 30s and 40s. J-Dub says, Lonnie Johnson appreciation post. Some water here. James Laura says, I hope blues will still be around in 30 years. I hope any kind of music that's actually played by human beings will be around in 30 years. I hope live music will still be around in 10 years. Shit. We're drinking water, being a pussy tonight. Let's see. Might play another song here. I'm gonna go ahead and do some banjo music before I get like too tipsy to play banjo. Matt Evans says, "Call me mad, but I think AI might lead to more live music, not less. When all the music on the radio is AI, people will want to see real human play it. Who knows? There might be a turnaround one of these days." But I mean, the trend so far has been sucking the humanity out of everything. Like that's pretty much the music business these days. Like the way things are going, there might be like a turnaround, you know, one of these days. James Laura says, "I had water for the first time in months last night." Damn it. A little bit of banjo playing there. I'm a guitar player, but Keith Peterson sends $5. He says, "Ed will talk for hours on end. Just recommend a song." Thank you very much for that super chat there, Keith. I appreciate that a whole lot, sir. With the banjo tonight. I'm practicing. Fucking bastard just fell on me. All right. Let's do an instrument that I actually know how to play, a guitar. Let me see. Here's some Petey Wheatstraw here. The Devil's Son-in-Law. One I just learned here. Very important St. Louis blues singer. Mostly played the piano. I'll do a guitar version of it. Women are raving about Petey Wheatstraw in this land. All these women are raving about Petey Wheatstraw in this land. He got so many women, they going from hand to hand. Don't tell all these girls what Petey Wheatstraw can do. Tell all these girls what Petey Wheatstraw can do. That'll cause suspicion, you know they're trying to. If you wanna see these women and men clown, if you wanna see these women and men clown, just let Petey Wheatstraw come on into your town. I am Petey Wheatstraw, the high sheriff of hell. I am Petey Wheatstrow, the high sheriff of hell. Way I strut my stuff, ooh, you never can tell. I'm Petey Wheatstrow, the high sheriff from hell. I'm Petey Wheatstrow, the high sheriff from hell. The way I strut my stuff, well, you never can tell. Petey Wheatstrow, really important guy back in his day. Like a lot of you might not have ever heard of him, but he was influential on a lot of people. Might have heard of him if you like Rudy Ray Moore. He was like one of the earliest shit talkers in music, you know, like he just kind of like talked about how cool he was all the time and stuff, like in his lyrics. James said he played the Batman theme already. Nope. For Real says ones and zeros will never replace live music. It'll just make it more rare and valued over time. Hopefully we're all fucked. Yeah, I mean, you know, the fucking humanity has been sucked out of music for quite some time now, as far as like popular music and stuff. I don't know if it's ever gonna go the other direction. Like, hopefully it does. Hang on. I'm trying to cut this heater off there. Keith says, "Oh my." Mari says, "My Civil War ancestor is credited for inventing the modern hand grenade." Oh, damn, that's pretty cool. What side was he on? Was he one of them goddamn fucking Yankees? Got water here. Alrighty. Oh shit. Got a ladybug on my finger. A bastard. It's all over the place in here. I think they might be Asian beetles. I don't know if they're like regular ladybugs or not. I don't know. Yeah. Let's see. Michael Montreux sends Canadian $15. He says, guitar rag. All right, we'll do that. Thank you very much for that $15 there. Appreciate that a whole lot. All right, let's do some finger picking for Michael Montreux, whose last name I probably mispronounce every time. First slide song ever put on record by Sylvester Weaver. Jody says, ladybugs, good luck. I got them all over the place. Like I'm surrounded by them. I don't know why. the $5. He says, Edward Phillips, that's my name. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate your generosity there, Keith. Swimmy Rose says, shot of water, Ed, or let's do a taking off the edge shot together. All right, taking the edge off shot. Yeah, we'll do that. Let me see here. I don't know where to put stuff around here. Alrighty. We'll do a vote. She sends me a $10 super chat and a LOL. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that $10 right there. Super chats are the life of the show. I guess I'll let you pick what we drink here, since you sent me a super chat. What do you say? Dewar's Scotch or Pusser's British Navy rum? Tell me which one. So we got the Dewar's White Label. We got this Pusser's here is basically the traditional Navy they used to give people in the British Navy and shit. Not the traditional Navy, the traditional rum they used to give to people in the British Navy. The rum or Scotch. Keith Peterson says, yes, ladybugs are a blessing. Well, I'm infested with them. I'm very blessed tonight. Swimmy says, rum. All right, we'll do the Pusser's Navy rum. Try to get the last little bit of Scotch out of here. Or Irish, yeah. This is actually pretty good stuff, like to be this cheap. It's like 25 bucks a bottle, and it's good as shit. Like, it's one of the best rums I've ever had, but you know, I'm not like a rum connoisseur, so most of the rum I've had is like bullshit, you know, like goddamn like Bacardi and stuff when it tastes like vodka. Gary Toner says, rum. Yak Fishing says, Jody, you officially have too many unexcused absences, young lady. Yes, I haven't been here in a while. I think she was on the last one, though. Swimmy says, I have my glass. Cheers. All right. Cheers. L'chaim, Kimpai, Skull, Prost, Nazdrovia, down the hatch with the Pusser's British Navy rum. Really nice stuff. I might buy another bottle of that shit. Hell. Gary Toner says, rum, sodomy, and the lash. Is that from a movie? I've never heard that one before. Annoying Spore says, what's the name of it again? It is, it's called Pusser's. Pusser. Basically, the British Navy, they used to give rum rations to the, you know, the people serving under them, and about 1970 or so, they stopped their rum rations. But these people got a hold of the recipe, and they make it exactly the way they made it back then when they rationed it to the sailors in the British Navy. Although, yeah, Pusser's rum, original Admiralty rum. And Jody says, Yak, I know life sucks sometimes. Having to do adult responsibilities, don't like it. Gary Toner says, the Pogues. Yes, that's an old Irish band, ain't it? SD says, nowhere near the place. Pug my horn. Already. Some finger picking. There's a great big mystery, and it sure is worrying me. This bitty won't Mr. Diddy Wall Diddy. I wish somebody would tell me what Diddy Wall Diddy mean. Had a little girl about 4 feet 4. Good old mama now, give me some more. Yo, Diddy Wall Diddy. Yo, Diddy Wall Diddy. I wish somebody would tell me what Diddy Wall Diddy mean. I got out and I looked around. Somebody said, now look who's in town. Mr. Diddy Wall Diddy. Mr. Diddy Wall Diddy. I wish somebody would tell me what Diddy Wall Diddy mean. Girl said, Daddy, you show me his sweet. Mr. Diddy Wall Diddy. Mr. Diddy Wall Diddy. I wish somebody would tell me what Diddy Wall Diddy mean. I said, sister, I'll soon be gone. But give me that thing you sitting on. That Diddy Wall Diddy. That Diddy Wall Diddy. I wish somebody would tell me what Diddy Wall Diddy mean. Then I got put out of church talking about Diddy Wall Diddy too much. Mr. Diddy Wall Diddy. Mr. Diddy Wall Diddy. I wish somebody would tell me what Diddy Wall Diddy mean. The blind Arthur Blake right there. Old ass Piedmont style ragtime blues. That's the Diddy Wall Diddy. Keith Peterson sends me $10. He says, if we don't recommend any songs, Edward, we'll talk for another 5 hours. Well, thank you very much for that $10 right there, Keith Peterson. Very generous man. Appreciate that a whole lot. Fender Jazz Brian says, I think I just found out what Diddy Wall Diddy means. Well, does she look good? J-Dub says, man, this style of music is the realest. Appreciate that. James Laura says, Blackbird, Paul McCartney. He says, Paul McFartney. Okay, I can do that. Swimmy Rose says, what does it mean? Well, listen to the lyrics. Looking, was it, said now, sister, I'll soon be gone. Give me that thing you sitting on. Right? Right. Do a little bit of Paul McCartney. Yak Fishing says, I'm okay with Ed talking. He is very knowledgeable about the topic of the channel. Try to be. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird fly to the light of a dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. There's a little bit of Beatles, the bluesiest band ever. Even bluesier than the Rolling Stones. Let's see. Mickle Montrol says, I knew it was close to 9:30. YouTube crashed. James says, Ed's out of Irish. Swimmy Rose says, yeah, I wanted to hear your knowledge on explaining it. Got it. Thanks. Just ask your parents about that. Keith Peterson says, outstanding. Yak Fishing says, I'm okay with Ed talking. I just read that. Let me see here. There we go. So, Mickle, does your YouTube tend to crash at 9:30? Keith says, outstanding. Appreciate that. Ronk Rusky says, dude has no clue about the blues. Okay. James Laura says, next time you go to the store, pick up some Jamesons. Yeah, I probably will, actually. I haven't had none in a while. Mickle Montreux says, every time. That's weird. Like, and you're in Canada, right? Might be some kind of Canadian government thing. I don't know. I'm almost sweating up in here. It's cold as hell and I'm sweating. Like with these studio lights on me. He says, communist plot. Yeah. Fucking Justin Trudeau's like turning off the internet switch every night at 9:30. James Laura said, any snow? No, it all melted. There was some snow last weekend, but it melted. SD says, they like the Canadian bards down south. It's like a disproportionate number of Canadian comedians for some reason, I've noticed. Like, used to watch like stand-up comedians on Comedy Central like back in the day, and it'd always be like it'd either be like a Canadian or a Jewish guy or like a Catholic guy. Like, that's what all the comedians are. It's either a Canadian, a Catholic, or a Jewish guy. James Laura says, I like living in America. That's kind of fun here. Jody says, snow finally almost got here. 50s tomorrow. So glad. Been cold as fuck. Snow almost gone here. Yeah, it snowed about a good 3 or 4 inches here. James Laura says, if I was rich, it would be so much better. I got 3 damn ladybugs, 4 now, 4 ladybugs on my studio light now. I got an infestation here. Shit. They must be all over the place. Last year, this studio got infested with stink bugs, and I finally got rid of them. J-Dub says, great singing, sir. The Beatles are not bluesier than the Stones. Come on. Yeah, it's a joke. Shit. SD says, dry and glorious here. The pain will come in the summer. Yep. The lamest time of year here in the deep south. I think SD might be in Texas. I'm here in South Carolina. The lamest time of year down here is in the middle of summer. This is when you don't want to be here. Michael Montreux says 2 feet of snow here. I don't think I've ever seen that much snow. Shit. I think the most I've seen is probably 14 inches, like something like that. Sandra says, thanks for being here. Makes me happy. Almost as B. What's up? J-Dub says, blessed with ladybugs. Yeah, I'm going to bless these ladybugs with some fucking boric acid pretty soon here. Sandra says, got 4 snail and 2 glowfish, Northern California, USA. Cool. Keith says, he sends $5. He says, Ed, jam one of your old YouTube video favorites from back in the day. All right, we'll do that. Thank you very much for that $5 there, sir. I appreciate that a whole lot. Since I got the Rezo, we'll do some Sun House. Well, I'm gonna find me religion. I'm gonna join the Baptist church. I'm gonna find me religion. I'm gonna join the Baptist church. Well, gonna be a Baptist preacher, so I won't have to work. Deacon jumped up, he began to grin. Well, one deacon jumped up, he began to grin. He said, you know one thing, Elder, believe I go back to Powerhouse again. Sister jumped up, why began to shout. Then one sister jumped up, well, he began to shout. You know, I'm so glad, Elder, there's a corn liquor going out. Another deacon jumped up. He said, why don't you hush? Another deacon jumped up. He said, why don't you hush? You know your drink's corn liquor, and your wine's a harbor skirt. In the pulpit, I was jumping up and down. Well, I was in the pulpit, and I was jumping up and down. Well, my sister's in the corner, hollering Alabama bound. Well, you know, I wish I had, baby, living on my own. I wish I had living on my own. I give all my good women, baby, a good old happy home. All right, there's some Sunhouse there. A man that I share a name with. His name was Eddie Sunhouse. My name is Edward. I hate being called Eddie. And now that I told y'all that, y'all are going to troll me with it. But I don't even like being called Ed all that much. I was always called Edward by my family and whatever women I was with and stuff like that. Julian Santaguita said, was that song instrumental? Make sure to comment, subscribe, and share. Your great-grandfather was called Shotgun Phillips. What kind of name is that? Did he call himself that name? See, J-Dub says, Sunhouse is the beast. Sandra Rue says, sending hearts as you perform. Appreciate that. This is along the side of the screen. Thank you very much for that there. James Laura says, once in a while, I like to have some pancakes. I'm not a huge breakfast guy, honestly. I just kind of have like a damn protein shake or something for breakfast. But, James Laura says, is you am out of shine? I got some. Sandra says, moonshiners. James Laura says, take it easy, Eddie. Yeah. Now everybody's going to start calling me Eddie. God damn it. I shouldn't have told y'all that. Let's see. Yeah, I got some corn liquor here. Keith Peterson says, audio quality is outstanding. Appreciate that. Cool. Some water. But, Valentine's Day is coming up. What are y'all going to do for your significant other, woman, man, farm animal, blow-up doll, like all that good stuff, Let's see. James says, might as well do some shine. might a little bit. Keith says, full blast. Cool. Michael Montreux says, could call Van Halen. Yeah, that's the reason my name is Edward, actually. My dad literally named me after Eddie Van Halen. He told me that. But that's the reason my name is Edward. Julian Santaguita says, wow, banjo, fast speed. I bet Grandpa Jones played fast. Yeah, he did claw hammer. I was doing the three-finger style, James Laura says, my last girlfriend hates me, so I'm going to get a bottle of Jameson's. Yeah, I mean, Jameson's a good liquor for being like heartbroken and stuff. Like, yeah, hit it. J Dub says, note to self, don't call this man Eddie. Fucking hate that shit. SD says, I was named after Glenn Scott, the astronaut. So yeah, first name's Edward. My middle name's Alan. I think Alan was just random. I don't know where that came from. There's no family member of mine that I know this name Alan. I would have called myself Ted if I had known that people named Edward could do that. Kind of sorry I didn't start using Alan also. Like I never was big on the name Edward, but that's the name I got. Michael Montreux says, secret's out. James Laura says, is there shine in that water bottle? Now that's just regular old water. SD says, this is Major Tom to ground control. Anyway, guess I'll show y'all a little bit of merchandise here. If I can pull it up, take me 1 second. Maybe do a little plug. Hate being a salesman. I feel so dirty when I'm trying to sell stuff. Let's see here. I can pull up my Etsy shop. But I'm not going to try to sell you on it. I'll offer it to you. Anyway, yeah. Here's my Etsy store here. Got a few things for sale. Got the heavy cotton T-shirt with my design on it. That I made this design myself. Got the patented blues shot glass here that I use to take all my shots out of. I've got this pint glass here, and I've got the coffee cup, and got one. Well, you can't see it on camera now. It's covered up. Yeah, there it is. But anyway, y'all check that out. Link below, the Etsy shop. And yeah, check out some of my merch. I wish y'all would. Oop. Turned on the wrong camera. Mark says, if your circuit's dead, I can fix it. Oh, that's right. You fix hi-fi stuff, like just sound stuff, right? James Laura says Ed has a 12-ounce shot glass. If you happen to be in Australia and you got a broke fucking amp or something, go to Mark. I guess he fixes stuff like that. J-Dub says, Edward Phillips, do you enjoy playing Mark Knopfler? Haven't really played much of his stuff, honestly. Shit. I ought to learn a couple of his tunes. James Laura says, I mean a 16-ounce shot glass. That would be a beer glass there. That's a pint glass. SD says, 2 minutes to midnight. Jody says, Mom said, Dad named me Jody because it sounded like a rodeo star. Funny because he wasn't country. Jody being a rodeo star, I don't know. The only rodeo star I remember the name of was like Tough Edeman. For real funny says E.A. Phillips sounds mighty highbrow. It is kind of a kingly name, like Edward Allen Phillips, right? It's kind of aristocratic sounding. Sandra says, on TV today, Moonshiner started up a contest among 3 moonshiners. Shit. I didn't know they were still showing that show. Damn. It's been on for a while. James Laura says, does anyone like Guinness? Yeah, I like me some Guinness. Oh, and another thing. Let me see here. Go to Bandcamp real quick. Also, link below. Y'all can go to Bandcamp. It should be edwardphillipsroots.bandcamp.com. That's where my albums are available. You can get them in a digital form, like downloading them and stuff, or you can buy like physical copies of them, physical CDs. And I would appreciate y'all if y'all did that too. That's the link below. We got the album you hear in the background on your left right here, If the Creek Don't Rise, and on the right you've got my acoustic blues album. It's called Plays the Country Blues. Anyway, Keith sends me $5. He says, if I let you talk for another 3 hours, you will. Let's play some music, Edward. Pick a song of your choice. All right, we'll do that. Thank you very much for that right there, Keith Peterson. Appreciate your friendly donation there. Let's do a song. she done told me, Papa done told me too. Son, that girl you fooling with, she ain't no good for you. That's alright, that's alright, that's alright now, Mama, any way you do. I'm leaving town, baby, leaving town for sure. You won't be bothered with me hanging around your door. That's alright, that's alright, that's alright now, Mama, any way you do. Da-da dee 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 dee. I need your love. That's alright. That's alright now, Mama, any way you do. That's alright now, Mama, any way you do. Well, that's alright now, Mama, any way you do. A little bit of Elvis right there. J-Dub says, Buddy Guy, shit, I don't know none of his lyrics. I'd have to learn some. David McDowell says, hello from the Shoals, sir. Down there in Muscle Shoals. What's up, man? He says, just discovered you. Well, how you doing there, man? Glad to have you. Jody says he did. James, Sandra says, my Valentine's Day birthday. Oh, shit, Valentine's Day's your birthday? February 14th. James Laura says, I thought so, Jody. SD says, Black Butt Porter is, but nobody here carries it. A Black Butte Porter. That's not one I've seen before. James Laura says, it's getting close, Sandra. 11th Monkey says, that's a great sounding guitar. Appreciate that very much. That's a Gretsch I bought about 10 years ago. Nancy Drum says, Elvis is living proof that the very roots of rock and roll were from the Mississippi Delta Blues. Yeah, he was from Tupelo. We actually went through Tupelo on the way to the Delta. So he was kind of close to there. 11th Monkey says, do you know Jelly Roll Blues? I'd have to learn the lyrics to it and stuff. Do a little bit of blues here. Haven't done no Robert Johnson. Let's see. Let's do some. I'm a steady rolling man, and I roll both night and day. I'm a steady rolling man, and I roll both night and day. God knows, sweet woman, you're rolling this way. I'm the man that rolls icicles hanging on the trees. I'm the man that rolls icicles hanging on the tree. You can hear me hollering down on my bending knee. I'm a hard-working man, rolls every day. I'm a hard-working man, and I roll most every day. Some cream puff using my money, it won't ever happen no more. can't give your woman everything she wants at just one time. You can't give your woman everything she wants at just one time. Got rambling on the brain and a monkey man on the mind. Steady rolling man, roll both night and day. I'm a steady rolling man and I roll both night and day. Got no sweet woman to be a rolling this way. All right, Robert Johnson. Annoying Spore says, I have a blueberry Paxi. J-Dub says, one room country shack is the Buddy Guy lyrics to learn. He says, steady rolling man. Yeah, that's what I just played right there. I do need to learn some Buddy Guy. Keith Peterson says, Edward Phillips, appreciate that very much. Nancy Drum says, no one does this music better than you, even the original players most of the time. Oh, hell. I'm okay at it. You know, I appreciate that very much. Thank you very much for that. Oh, what else we got here? Julian Santa Guida says, what was your first liquor you ever bought from the store? I don't know. I was drinking liquor before I was old enough to buy it, but it was probably something stupid like Jim Beam or something like that. I don't know. Jody says, good shit. Appreciate that. David McDowell says, sounding great, man. My girlfriend Rachel doesn't know I'm doing this, but she would die if you played some ABB. ABBA? I don't know any ABBA. J-Dub said Otis Rush. I'd have to learn some Otis Rush. And he do oh my lovin', oh my lovin'. Sebastian says, hey brother, made it in. What's up tonight? Nothing much, man. How you doing there? Good to see you. J-Dub says, you're a master brother. Appreciate that. 11th Monkey says, yeah, I like your version better than some of the originals. Yeah, you just stamp it with your style. It's great. You're still in my playlist, Crossroad Blues. My biggest video there, Crossroads. David says, Allman Brothers. Okay. I don't really know no Allman Brothers lyrically. I got to see them live back in the 90s, like when I was about 12. Yeah, I did play Statesboro Blues earlier. You know, did the Blind Willie McTell version. Yeah, I was taken to see the Allman Brothers by a friend of mine's parents who were old, hippie types, and I had just seen AC/DC like a couple of months earlier, so I'm sitting there watching the Allman Brothers, and I'm like, God damn, this is fucking boring. I want to go back and see AC/DC again. 12 years old, Sandra says, Muddy Waters are my favorite. I'm so lonesome I could cry. Let's do a little bit of Muddy Waters. Where's the slide at? I misplaced the patented slide here. Use this other one. Sitting there drinking, I'm just as lonesome as a man can be. I've been sitting there drinking, I'm just as lonesome as a man can be. They said there's a woman for every man. I'm wondering if you're the one for me. So many times I told you I wasn't going that far. So many times I told you I wasn't going that far. Got $20 in my pocket, baby. I just might lay out a word. You ain't no good. I declare I'm through with you. Whiskey, you ain't no good. I declare I'm through with you. You take away my baby, and you taking all my money too. Already, Muddy Waters. Some old stuff by him. Sandra says, yeah, Bob Dylan. I can do some Dylan in just a second. All right. Keith Peterson sends me $10. He says, I don't want to be a pain in the ass, but Edward Phillips can jam. I mean, Primus 7. All right, we'll do that one more time for you for that super chat. Thank you very much right there. I thank you very much for that super chat. Appreciate it. James Laura says, Shine might do something a little bit. And Nancy said, love Muddy, my favorite. You're fantastic. Appreciate that. Now let's do some Primus for Keith here. A little bit of it. A little bit of Primus if this guitar will quit going out of tune. J-Dub says, Muddy Shiver, man, you're a singing fool. Appreciate that. Swimmy Rose says, Hound Dog Taylor. Shit, I'd have to learn some of his lyrics and stuff. Jody says, Muddy's my favorite. Let's see. I'll hit a little Bob Dylan since somebody brought him up. I'll probably screw the lyrics up on this. Bob Dylan lyrics, notoriously hard to remember. Hang on. Ain't no use to sit and wonder why, baby. You don't know why now. Ain't no use to sit and wonder why, baby. It won't do you good no how. When your rooster crows at the break of dawn, you look out your window and I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm a-traveling on. Don't think twice, it's alright. Ain't no use in turning on your light, baby. Light I never know. Ain't no use in turning on your light, baby. I'm on the dark side of the road. I'm sitting there wondering, walking down the road. I once loved a woman, a child I'm told. I gave her my heart, but she wanted my soul. Don't think twice, alright. So long, honey, baby, where I'm bound, I can't tell. Goodbye to a good word, baby. So I'll bid you fare thee well. I ain't saying you treated me unkind. You could have done better, but I don't mind. You just kind of wasted my precious time. Don't think twice, it's alright. Alrighty. Supposedly Bob Dylan learned to pick that way from Etta Baker. She was a Piedmont blues musician. North Carolina. J-Dub says, killer stuff, Ed. Appreciate that. Jody says, Bob was a great songwriter. Not the best vocal artist, but he was unique. Like your vocals. Appreciate that. I hope I sung it a little bit better than him. Yeah, I saw him when I was 18. Let me see. Let me restart the chat real quick. Kind of glitchy here. Sebastian says, great job, man. Appreciate that very much. James Laura says, at one time, Dylan was the man. All right, I think we're back. Railroad Bill, he said that he will. He never work and never will. And ride. Railroad Bill, he's standing on the hill, rolling a cigar with a $10 bill and ride. before day. Railroad Bill, he's a mighty mean man. He shot the lantern out of the brakeman's hand and ride, ride, ride. So mean and so bad, he whipped his mammy, shot his old granddad in the morning just before day. Gonna buy me a pistol, I'm a-going out west. Got a 38 special strapped onto my chest and ride, ride, ride. Piedmont Pickens. That's an old Piedmont blues song right there. Might have originated in Alabama, I'm not sure. Nancy Drum says, Railroad Bill reminds me of Freight Train and Carter Family's Leslie Riddle's Cannonball. It's about the same chord progression, just different lyrics, yeah. I think that kind of chord progression was like going around and shit. Then damn, like Freight Train would be more like something like wait. Take this cable. Yeah, it's got that E in there. Very Dog says, "What's up? Sounds good. Did it warm there? Is it warm up there? It was about 50-something degrees today, which is, better than it was last weekend." Keith Peterson sends $5. Says, "Yes, Ed's voice is clear and he saved thousands of dollars on cigarettes. I've saved hundreds so far." Thank you very much for that super chat there, Keith. I appreciate that a whole lot. James Laura says, "Did you stop doing rattlesnake shots of doom?" No, for a $20 super chat, I will do the rattlesnake shot of doom. That's one bourbon, one scotch, and one shot of absinthe in the same shot glass. Actually, I don't got no bourbon, so it'll be scotch, rum, and absinthe. James says, "I have a blanket on my bed and it's warm." But if y'all would give me 1 second, I'm going to step outside real quick and take care of a little bit of man business. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Tune this thing a little bit. Molly says, hey Ed, what's your email? It's listed down below in the video description. EdwardPhillipsRoots@gmail.com. In the description, I've been looking at the white sidebar next to the screen. I'm an idiot. J-Dub says, quick piss. Pink Floyd? Shit. Most of the Pink Floyd I listened to was Syd Barrett and stuff, you know. I know one or two of his halfway, about half the song. Let me see. He's called a nasty sort of person. It gave him time, those bank change. He hits it all away. It's not the same. Takes two to know. One of my favorite songwriters ever, Syd Barrett, Pink Floyd, right there. That's the cool Pink Floyd that I like. If you don't know that version of Pink Floyd, you're not one of the cool kids. All right. J-Dub says, nice, appreciate that. Mason Earl Hayden says, hi, howdy Ed, how about some West Coast blues? All right, I'll do that for you. A little bit of Blind Blake. Or I'll fuck it up for you at least. Blind Blake from the 1920s, the king of the ragtime guitar. Some Blind Blake. Some hard shit to play right there. Okay, while my hand heals, let's do some Delta stuff. Some stuff from Bentonia, Mississippi by Skip James. Well, these hard times are here everywhere you go, and times are harder than they've been before. Know that people are drifting from door to door. Can't find no heaven, no matter where they go. People, if I ever get over this old killing blow, you know, they but times never get that low no more. When you hear me singing this old lonesome song, baby, you know these hard times can't last so long. Oh, you say you had money, but you better be strong. These hard times will kill you just to drag on slow. Levitt Monkey said, "Do you know Jimmy Rogers' Railroad Blues?" McGee Brothers did a version of that too. I don't know that one lyrically. I can do I do T for Texas. Shit. With no yodeling, I can't yodel. All right. Jimmy Rogers, the singing brakeman from Mississippi, father of country music. T for Texas, T for Tennessee. Well, T for Texas, T for Tennessee, and T for Thelma, that girl that made a wreck out of me. If you don't want me, mama, well, you sure don't have to stall. If you don't want me, mama, you sure don't have to stall. I can get more women than a passenger train can haul. I'm gonna buy me a shotgun just as long as I'm tall. Gonna buy me a shotgun as long as I'm tall. Shoot poor Thelma just to see her jump and fall. I'd rather drink muddy water, sleep in a hollow log. Rather drink muddy water, sleep in a hollow log, than be in Atlanta, being treated like a dirty dog. I'm gonna buy me a pistol with a great long shiny barrel. Gonna buy me a pistol, big long shiny barrel. Shoot that rounder that stole away my gal. J-Dub says, Skip James, the most haunting. Yeah, he was kind of haunting, like with that minor tuning and stuff and that falsetto singing. James says, time for some shine. We might do some later. J-Dub says, he has an American treasure. I appreciate that, man. 11th Monkey sends me £3. Thank you very much for that, sir. I appreciate that a whole lot. Super chats are the life of the show, so if y'all feel like tipping me, go to that $ down there at the bottom of the chat box there, and I would appreciate that a whole lot. Y'all send me some super chat love. I don't put ads on these. So, yeah, basically like busking here, you know, taking tips. Also got a like a PayPal link in the description to this video. You can, you know, donate stuff through PayPal. Robert says, very nicely played, Edward. Congratulations. Appreciate that a whole lot. James says, can you can Ismo Blues? I'm not sure. J-Dub says, T for tip, you're a master musician. Yeah, appreciate that, man. Mason Earl Hayden says, you ever tried the breakdown version of Sam Collins' Lonesome Road Blues? Has an interesting sound for sure. I have to learn that one. Yeah, that's one I'd have to get down. Get some background music going here. Eleventh Monkey says, 3:30 in Scotland. I got to hit the sack. Good night and thanks. All right, man. Well, you have a good one. It's getting pretty damn late over here. It's only 10:24 here. Appreciate that super chat too. James Laura says, MU know any Delta Blues? Yeah, I just played one, actually. Yeah, I did that Skip James song. What else we got here? Talk to me, folks. Talk to me, folks. These ladybugs flying all over the place. To hear what y'all got to say here. James says shine, then talk. Okay, anybody want to do some moonshine? Molly says 9:30 here in NOLA, New Orleans. School night. Got to get the kid off. Let's see. Thanks for the music. All right, we'll see you later, Molly. You have a good one. Annoying Sport says, wasn't it freezing there? Yeah, it got down to like 14 Fahrenheit a couple days ago. Annoying Sport says, why a bug coming from the cold? Yeah, it's kind of warm in here, I guess. They kind of woke up and stuff. Okay. All right, who wants to do a shot? Shit. J Dub says JJ Kale. Let's see. I used to play Cocaine by Clapton. Let's see. He wrote "Call Me the Breeze" too, didn't he? James says might as well. James says, I love cocaine. Who's up for a shot? Oh, he says the song, I mean. I always liked the drug better than the song. Like, I kind of liked Clapton's Cream years. I didn't like his fucking solo years. Get tired of hearing that fucking shit all the time on the radio. You know. What is that on the screen here? Oh, that's my records here. Okay. J-Dub says, yep, call me the breeze. James Lord says, I'm ready for some shine. All right. Knowing Spore says, let's see, I just got some of these Daryl Boost capsules from Amazon. J-Dub says, after midnight. Knowing Spore says, I tried one. I kind of liked it. Daryl Boost capsules. All right, let's do a little bit of corn liquor here. None of you cunts are talking. Let's drink. Let's see here. All right, here we go. J-Dub said Cream did Skip James. Yeah, which one did they? They did I'm So Glad, didn't they? Yeah. Mason Earl Hayden says, what kind of banjo songs do you know? I know a few bluegrass songs and mountain songs and stuff like that. Okay, this is pretty powerful stuff here. This is, what is it? 120 proof. So, yeah. Pretty good stuff. This is Sugarland Shine from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, since I can't get any street stuff right now, so. I prefer my corn liquor to be illegal, but anyway, here we go. Cheers, L'chaim, Kim Pie, Prost, Skull, down the hatch. Woohoo! The moonshine face. There it is, right there. That stuff tastes real, though. A lot of moonshine you get from the store tastes like vodka. For real says, I'm too drunk to chat. Catch up with me. I don't know. Let's do a banjo song since I just like drank some corn liquor. We'll do Mountain Dew. Gotta get my banjo capo here. Banjo capos are aggravating, by the way. We gotta get in the key of A here. J-Dub says, cheers, ever gotten to later Bob Dylan? Well, I saw him in his later years. Like, I saw him like about 2001. He had just come out with an album called Love and Theft. That was mostly into his early stuff. And Knowing Sports is Epiphone banjo? Yep. Sucked liquor or something down my throat. Yeah. Yep, there's my, me banjo playing. I'm a guitar player, You have to practice that motherfucker every week to stay on top of it, too. James Laura says, people are always parking in from my house. I don't like it. In front of my house. James Laura says, you're playing the banjo better now. Cool. James says, drink some water, Ed. Mason says, nice. Do you play with 2 fingers or 3 on the banjo? 3. My dad played with 2 and I played with 3. That's his banjo back there. Fucking choking in the middle of a song. Damn it. Anyways. Little guitar action going on here. Already. A little bit of Jimi Hendrix there. Get some background music going. SD says, yeah, it needs a Leslie. That's what the Univibe is supposed to recreate, like the sound of a Leslie. A rotating speaker. Jody says, Jimmy, good shit. Appreciate that. Barry Dodd says, Ted Nugent for president. we basically have Ted Nugent as president right now. But, you know, ideologically. That wah-wah pedal still turned on. Kyle says, hi Ed, how are you? I'm doing pretty good. Knowing Sports says that was a Univibe. I was thinking it was an Electro Voice phaser. It's actually a cheap Dan Electro Univibe. Well, listen, everybody, to what I gotta say. Hope for tomorrow will make it today. Happened long ago, in the new magic band. Engines and the buffalo, sisters hand in hand. Engine needed food, they needed skins for the roof. Only took what they needed, baby. Millions of buffalo will approve. So right. Then came the white dogs. And if you hate it, he couldn't see past the billboard. He went on above it all day, sad and sad. Keith Peterson sends $5. He says, Edward Phillips, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that a whole lot. Super chats are the life of the I don't know why I went on a Ted Nugent kick right there, but yeah. One of the reasons I bought a hollow body, actually, I bought this Gretsch so I could play rockabilly and maybe do some Nugent. You know, I don't have fucking Birdland money, so. Knowing Sports says, I think I have this thing that is supposed to be a Dan Electro vibrato, but it might be Chinese. That's what I have. It's a Dan Electro, a small, like, little orange pedal. It's called a vibrato, but it's not a vibrato. It is a univibe, basically. Barry says, heck, man, sounded good. Good old Ted Ned. Yeah, right. I've seen him a few times. Under a bad sign, I've been down since I began to But if bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all. Bad luck and troubles, my only friend. I've been down ever since I was a teen. Under a bad sun, I've been down since I began to crawl. But if bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all. Go whining women, all I crave. Big bad woman gonna put me in my grave. Under a bad sun, I've been down since I began to crawl. If it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all. Born under a bad sign, I've been down since I began to crawl. If it wasn't for bad love, if it wasn't for real bad love, we'd have no luck at all. I'm a bad love boy. I've had trouble all of my day. Well, Keith Peterson sends me $5. He says, jam some Robert Johnson. All right, I'll do that. Thank you very much for that $5 super chat there, Keith. Appreciate your generosity. Antonio says, grande amigo mío. Muchas gracias. See, Jody says, James Nag Champa best incense. Have burned it since a teen. Mom's best friend when I was was a hippie. Learned to scent from her. I got like some of that cone incense, like you know, I got like a Buddha statue. I bought it for my wife for Christmas, and it's got like the cone incense, and the smoke like goes down instead of up. It's like crazy. It like flows like water and shit. Let's see how many people got it. Okay, here we go. Robert Johnson. Oh, baby, don't you wanna go? Oh, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to the land of California, to my sweet home, Chicago. Oh, baby, don't you wanna go? Oh, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to the land of California, to my sweet home, Chicago. One and two, two and four. I may be lonely, baby. I'm booked, I gotta go. Right, hey, baby. Honey, don't you wanna go? Back to the land of California, to my sweet home, Chicago. Two and four. Order 2 and 6. Keep monkeying around with your friends. Get your business all in a trick. crying, hey, baby, baby, don't you wanna go back to the land of California, to my sweet home, Chicago. 6 into an 8, 8 into a 10. Keep monkeying around with your friends, she sure gonna get you again. Crying, hey, baby, honey, don't you wanna go back to the land of California, to my sweet home, Chicago. I'm going to California, back to the Mona Way. Somebody will tell me that you need my help someday. Crying, hey, baby, honey, don't you wanna go back to the land of California, to my sweet home, Chicago. Mason Earl Hayden says, what kind of flat pick do you like? Well, let's see. Do a little bit of flat picking. Some Carter family shit. Hang on. Capo on him, right? James Laura says, I put them on Waza bread sometimes. Antonio says, he says, it's a true bluesman. I appreciate that. SD says, they burned all the Beatles records, apparently. Yeah, yes, they did. Like when John Lennon said he was bigger than Jesus, he pissed off all the Christians, and all those Christians back in the 60s threw away like millions of dollars worth of Beatles records that they probably wish they had now. Shit. But James Laura says, this is a Star Spangled Banner? Jesus. James says, I could never burn a Beatles record myself. Yep, little did they know that Marilyn Manson would exist one day. It's just a bunch of stupid fucking reactionary, like, you know, Southern fucking Baptist and stuff, you know, basically. Let's see. Mason says, Wildwood Flower. Yeah, it's Wildwood Flower. Kyle says, really great. Appreciate that. SD says, I have barbecue pieces of chicken flesh. actually had a friend whose mother said, "Yeah, I burned my Beatles records." Like when John Lennon said those naughty words about Jesus. Like, okay, well, you're fucking stupid. Right? Next time you get some Beatles records, give them to me. I'll keep them. James says Ed kind of has a Beatles haircut. I don't know. I don't know if I'd pass for the Beatles, at least in the Ed Sullivan period. All right, but yeah, kind of dead in here by this point. I might migrate over to Patreon real quick. I do like a little Patreon live stream. Might have to use the crappy camera on there. I can't get my good camera to work on Patreon. Yeah, and by the way, kids, join the Patreon. It's got exclusive stuff on there. I've been doing some live streams over there lately, like some after shows, basically. You know, stuff like that. Like, got exclusive content, got ad-free content, got MP3 downloads, things like that. For real says, Big Fat Bud, cheers and prost. James says, it's kind of dead here. I wonder why. No, I don't know. Yeah, ain't hearing shit from nobody. But yeah, I might migrate on over to Patreon and see if there's a few patrons on there. Hang out a little bit. It's 11 o'clock, you know, been on a while. Jody says, what is Patreon? It's basically where you can pay people like a small donation every month and stuff, like, and get like, you know, perks like exclusive content and stuff like that. It's just linked below on my description. But, I might mosey on over there and turn on the camera and see if anybody shows up. I got a few patrons over there. Anyway, let's see. Only did 3 shots tonight on here, damn. I guess I will talk to y'all later. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I'll be on Patreon if y'all want to go hang out there and stuff. You know, let's see. Mason says, good listening to you, Ed. I'll be around for the next live. All right. It'll probably be Saturday, like probably Saturday night. Yeah. Anyway, see y'all next time. Peace off.